think about it, we think about communities like this. We got three club sites: Glen, Burnie, Franklin Square, Middle River. And in some of these communities, you have, trash, and you have drugs, you have violence going on. We're trying to get the opportunity to take them away from that. Would you rather them being in a safe environment, playing basketball, learning about their future, learning about finances and different things like that? Or would you rather them be on the street corner with the local drug bookie? Would you rather them be failing classes and end up potentially on the streets or in environments like this? Or would you rather them be in a safe environment with men and women who care about them, who are trying to inspire them, who are trying to push them to a future, who are trying to push them to their goals and aspirations? So here's the challenge. You can choose. Would you rather them experience this, or would you rather them experience a safe environment with real people who actually care and are trying to push them to a better future and a hope that they can experience exactly what God intended them to experience?
What's up, guys? My name is William Boone, and I am the area director for the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club. There, I oversee 3 sites. One is in Anne Arundel County. That's our Glen Burnie location. One in Baltimore City. That's our Franklin Square location. And then one in Baltimore County, which is our Middle River location. And what we do is really we look to impact the lives of the youth that we serve. We look to impact the community. Some of our sites, specifically Middle River, we offer basketball. So they do basketball tournaments. They do basketball leagues. They also rent out gym time. So if you need to come in there and get a couple jump shots in, you can go to our Middle River Club because we have a full-service gym there where you can do that practice, get some 3-on-3, get some 1-on-1s going. You can do that. Then at our Franklin Square location, it's specifically a community club. So we service that community. One of the schools that is directly across the street is Franklin Square Elementary. And what we do there is that one also has a gym. So we provide basketball training. We do financial literacy. We have STEM programs there. And then also one of the things that separates us from other Boys and Girls Clubs is we have what we call core officers. They go out into the community. They visit with parents. They visit with students. They also visit those who are sick, the elderly. So it's all encompassing. And then we have our Glen Burnie location, which is probably the oldest out of the 3 as far as location is concerned. That one, we serve probably around 40 kids right now, and we pick up from 7 local schools. There we have a sports program where currently we're offering where kids can learn how to play soccer. We do have a football program where we try to work with the local leagues where we can get flag football going on as well as 2-hand touch. We haven't yet got to the point where we're doing shoulder pads and different things like that. So that's coming. We're working on that. But that's kind of what we do right now in a nutshell. Specifically at Glen Burnie, we run a program called Passport to Manhood, where we teach young black men how to tie ties, how to coordinate as far as suit and ties. We do financial literacy, so banking, learning how to count money, learning how to balance a checkbook. So we do that, and then we also service teens. One of the things we do with teens is we run what we call our Torch Club and our Keystone program. That's a leadership initiative. And what we do there, we take them on trips. Matter of fact, last year we went to Atlanta for 4 days where they got to tour Atlanta. Sometimes some of them, it was their first time on a plane. So they got a first experience with being on a plane. Sometimes that was the first experience outside of the state of Maryland. So that's kind of what we do, and that's kind of what we push our teens to do, to explore different things as well as get new experiences, life experiences in life. So, yeah, we did that. They did a whole leadership training as well as get to see the sights of Atlanta. So they got to hang out. They got to see the underground. They got to actually go to a studio and record music. That's kind of what we do in a nutshell. When I think about the impact that we have had in the Boys and Girls Club, the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, I know some personal stories. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is having an impact, not just in the community, but in the lives of those that we serve. One particular young man who comes to my mind was in our club, and he was raised in a rough neighborhood, and many people just didn't have high hopes for him. And I sat down and talked to him one day. One of the things he wanted to do is he wanted to play football. His college dream was to go to Oregon State. And then after that, God willing, he was going to go to the NFL. That was his dream. That was his plan. But many people didn't think he was even going to graduate. He was far behind. Unfortunately, he had a bad accident, which caused him to fall behind a grade. So he was always the oldest one in his class. No fault of his own. But he did that. We got together. He went through our program called Passport to Manhood. And with that, we got to have some one-on-one time where I could really see where his heart was, what he wanted to do, etc. And then push him. We were able to hold him accountable. So one of the things he used to do, he used to skip a lot, just being real. He used to skip a lot. And then the administrators got a hold of me, and they would call me and say, hey, he skipped class today. And then, of course, we would have that conversation. Did it for a while, and then eventually he started getting on the ball. He had a 1.9 GPA, so like he was failing. And got him together, and he actually, not only did he go through Passport to Manhood, he went through Keystone as well, which is our leadership club. And he ended up bringing that up because a part of his commitment was he liked playing basketball. He liked sports. So we had a gym at our facility, and we had a basketball team. We had intramural leagues. And one of the commitments you had to do is you had to maintain a 2.5 GPA minimum to play on the team. So, of course, when it went below that, I didn't cut him. I had to sit him down. So I sat him down, and by that Friday, Okay, by that Friday, his GPA was up, so I knew he could do the work. And he was back playing. I think he played in that game that Saturday. So that ended up graduating, and he graduated with several of his friends. So that was an accomplishment. And not just that, the backstory in that is he was the only male in his family to graduate, to complete graduation. Most of the males in his family dropped out. So that in itself is impact. So he not only graduated, he went on to pave a career for himself. And matter of fact, he's working at one of our clubs now. So that's the impact that we have in people's lives. There's another young man that I can talk about. He was actually one of my mentees, and he was, unfortunately, he had a rough childhood, and he joined our club. And from there, we also got close. He told me, of course, some things that had happened in his past. He was abused and different things like that. And a lot of people misunderstood him. He was misunderstood. He was picked on, etc. Then he found family at our club. And then we did that. We, again, like I said, I mentored him for several years. Matter of fact, he's on track to graduate this year. And talking about what a 3.0, I believe, is what he's on track to graduate with. So A and B student. Where before that wasn't the case. I know he's been on honor roll for probably the past 4 years straight. He didn't have that before in high school. So that's the level of commitment and impact that we're having, that it's not only challenging them academically, but we're also challenging them in the community. He had a bad attitude. So he was willing and ready to fight anybody and anyone on site. So if you talk to him the wrong way, he was ready to fight. So that was him. He was a hothead. So we were able to coach him through that. And, now I'm not saying he's passive, because he's absolutely not. But he's a little bit more calm. He's a little bit more even keeled. So he's doing that. He's slated to graduate, as I mentioned just a moment ago. And he's getting ready to go to college. He has colleges looking at him. I think one of the colleges that he's looking at is AMDA up in New York, Manhattan, New York. So he's getting it out there. So that's what we want to do. We have impact to push him to what they want to do. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not something that we project on them. We allow them to tell us their goals, their dreams, their aspirations, and we just hold them accountable and push it toward them. So that's 2 examples of just the impact that we have and are having in the lives of some of our students.
That was good. Now let's talk about the future.
Okay.
What are we doing in the future?
All right. Okay. So as we look to and as we talk about the future, one of the things that I'm looking to do on just a more grand scale is in the next 2 to 3 years, I want to open up 2 to 3 more or additional Boys and Girls Clubs. One I'm looking at is in Carroll County. One is in Havre de Grace. And then another location in Baltimore City. So those are the 3 locations currently on a grander scale or more general that I'm looking to do. On a more intimate level, if you will, one of the things that the future holds is having not just intramural leagues amongst the club, but hosting basketball tournaments for the community. That will hopefully, at all the sites that have gyms, that will be something that is a staple that we would invite the community to, that they can come out, play basketball. Your kids can come out, try out, and do different things like that. We're also looking to partner with different organizations to teach a variety of dance or the arts. So having a dance program, having culinary arts in our clubs. Those are some of the things that we're looking to do, as well as beefing up our financial literacy, because we don't just want our kids to know money. We're trying to break the mentality and the cycle of poverty. So we want them to go out being financially literate. And of course, that's more for our teens and our older kids. But still, we want a fun environment for all of our youth that we serve, from 5 to 18, which we currently serve. As well as getting in trades. So that's one of the things that I'm working on, is that our sites would be able to partner with local businesses such as barbershops, such as electricians, plumbers, welders, people who do handiwork, etc., and then be able to teach some of our youth those skills. That way, whether college is their choice, whether they want to go directly into the workforce, they can go wherever they want with a skill. That's one of the things that schools used to do, some of them still do, that we're a big proponent on. We want to make sure our kids always have the ability to eat, no matter where they are, whether they have the college degree or not. So those are some of the things we're looking to do in the future. As well as just naturally expanding. We want to see all of our sites grow. Right now, our capacities across all 3 clubs that we currently serve is right around 40. We're looking to double that probably in the next year to 2 years. So those are just some figures, some numbers that we're looking to do, but more on a practical sense. We want to make sure that the future is holding impact for us, and that we're doing that in a more real way, that people can actually say, hey, this is what I learned at the Boys and Girls Club in any site that they attend. So that's what the future holds for us.